Alrighty, we are setting up for Tania, the Amazoness warriors going up against Battle City, and so far they have annihilated everything in their path. And will probably continue to do so for a little while. They're up against Ishizu, who does have the potential to draw some strong monsters though, but we will see. I'm going to continue on with some comments as well. I got a little bit preoccupied in the last duel because I was looking at the world map trying to find a specific island. Okay, Tania has drawn. That's a decent. Oh, actually, that's actually not a great starting hand, but it still works. It's still got Amazoness Onslaught, which makes it still a pretty dangerous hand. Amazoness Baby Tiger. When another Amazoness monster is summoned to the field, you can special summon that from your hand. Amazoness Baby Tiger will also get 100 points per Amazoness monster in the graveyard. Alejandro Fernandez says, Zane is one of my absolute favorites, even after him turning into an edgelord. He never became evil per se. He was just always looking for the next challenge. Also love both Cyber Dragons and Cyber Darks. They are a very cool deck. I will admit that. They are a cool deck. They're very powerful as well, especially if you hit Power Bond. As we saw in Zane's test duel, he Power Bonded Jaden and absolutely flattened him. Which is good to see as well, because we all know who would have won that duel. Alright. Amazoness Onslaught is activated, which means Mudora. And Ishizu just threw a few fairies to the graveyard to power up that Mudora. Now that's going to get removed from play from the effect of Amazoness Onslaught. Amazoness Onslaught, that one single card, completely breaks this deck. It makes it so strong. Look at this, even in battle phase, you can special summon an Amazoness monster from your hand. And there's Amazoness Queen. Now no Amazoness monsters can be destroyed by battle. Amazoness Baby Tiger can come back because an Amazoness monster was summoned to the field. And Ishizu is open. It's difficult to beat this deck. It's so strong. Especially for how sort of like early it is in the Yu-Gi-Oh world as well. Like GX wasn't the first series. I mean, it was the second, but. And Alejandro Fernandez also says, will you watch or have you watched all the animes to get a feel for the decks and what the characters use in their duels? I've watched all of the original Yu-Gi-Oh series, and I've watched GX, but it was a long time ago. I've watched Season 1 sort of somewhat recently. So what I've been doing, I've just been researching their individual duels. Not only that, in the anime, a lot of the cards that they played, they don't actually exist. That was a sort of like a big thing when I was making the Battle City decks, is especially with Arcana, a lot of his cards didn't actually exist. They were just made for like the show itself, or like that episode, which a lot of Yu-Gi and Kaiba cards did that as well. But yeah, usually I was watching along when I was making the big 5 decks, some of them as well. I was watching along as, my word, this first duel has lasted like 3 minutes, and Ishizu is already beaten. She's already down 1-0. It lasted 5 turns. I mean, it is fun watching one deck get absolutely whitewashed. Crimson Maelstrom says, hopefully Serenity can win a few in Duelist Kingdom. I'm rooting for her. I am too. I actually really do want to see Serenity take on Joey Wheeler, just for fun as well. Because let's not forget, Joey Wheeler did beat Rebecca. In Rebecca's Duelist Kingdom series that we did here, Joey Wheeler was the only one who beat her, and it was an incredible match as well. It was like otherworldly how good that match was. Eli Streaman says, every time I open Legacy biannually, I wait an hour for a game and no one ever shows up. That's such is the tragedy of games that have been superseded by a new title. It's just the way things happen. It's did anyone play Risk, or more specifically Risk Factions back in the day? 2011, I think that game came out. That game was popular back in its day, very popular. Today there's new Risk games out. I think Risk Global Domination, I think, might be the current one. Risk Factions, you can go in, look for an online game, you'll never find one. Even the Command & Conquer, the older Command & Conquer games, you can find a few games in there, but not many. There's like a very few dedicated circle to like the original Red Alert game, and same with this one. I'm not surprised everyone's on Master Duel. When early days come out, Legacy of the Duelist is kind of a forgotten game already. It's not even that old, really, the game, but it's the only Yu-Gi-Oh game that I have where I have all the cards on 2 consoles, so I can, get 2 players together and get them to play so I can commentate this series. Alright, Kelbeck is on the field. So is Amazoness Onslaught. Amazoness Princess has come to the field. Oh, that may have been a misclick. Because that went straight to no from the Amazoness. Effect. It draws a spell or a trap card from the deck. An Amazoness spell or trap card from the deck. When Amazoness Princess is summoned. I've done that many times before on this game using this deck. Accidentally clicked B on that. Moonwolfie. So Serenity. Go Serenity for beating Rex. I remember Chaz throwing one of the other characters' decks into the ocean. And it may have been Bashan's because Jaden was sorry that Bashan lost his deck. Bashan was just, it's fine, I have other decks. I think Chaz's Pre-Ojama deck ended up in the ocean. I believe when he was on the boat while leaving Duel Academy, the boat sank, I believe. And Chaz ended up on the shore of North Academy. I do remember that because then he didn't have any cards and he had to rebuild his deck. And because he wasn't really friends with many people, he had to go to that well and he had to build his deck with like all these cards that people had thrown away. Wait, no, that was when those 2 guys were trying to gain control of it from Kaiba, the Duel Academy. And they challenged Chaz and he had to build that really weak deck. And he still beat them as well. Because then he went with that deck for a little while, because I remember him being in his bedroom and all the monsters, all their spirits were like surrounding him. The spirits of sad monsters that didn't get picked for a deck and were thrown down the well because they were so weak. Moonwolfie also says, I had Forbidden Memories, but I never really played it, so I ended up selling it years ago. It's a very dated Yu-Gi-Oh game. You sort of had to grow up playing it to kind of enjoy it today. It's the format of it's very primitive as well. You just chuck cards from your hand. You always draw until you have 5 cards every turn. So, bit of a custom rule set as well. Moonwolfie also said for Joey, you could focus on Flame Swordsman or a dragon deck that is focused on 1000 Dragon and Red Eyes, without going full Red Eye since that would be too close to Atticus's deck. I remember watching a video where someone made updated decks for Kaiba, Yugi, Joey, Mai, and Jaden. Kaiba's was full on Blue Eyes Archetype. Yugi was Dark Magician and Dark Chaos with Luster Soldier. Mai's was Harpy's Archetype. Jaden had Yubel cards, along with Neos, Neospatians, and some elemental heroes like Flame Wingman and his variants. I believe Joey's was a Red Eyes deck with some other classic Joey cards like Flame Swordsman and 1000 Dragon. I reckon a Time Wizard themed deck would do him well as well, because there are some like themed... Oh my god, this one's over already. Jeez, I barely even commented that second match. What happened? I was reading like one comment and the match is already over. Well, the Amazoness deck has absolutely obliterated Ishizu into the next millennium. Well, this one's over, and we do have Jesse's deck being in test in the next match as well. So thanks everybody for tuning in, wherever you are in the world. Stay safe, take care, farewell.